The thing that struck me the most was, of course, the scale of the destruction caused by the earthquake, and also the disorganization that existed. Strangely, this initial tragic impression made me even more sensitive to how the deaf felt. When we got them together, they told us through little sketches and sign language what had happened to them during the earthquake. That moved me a great deal. The deaf suffer from a lack of direction and information. The messages issued to the population are usually given orally on radio and television. The deaf therefore don't have access to these messages. They therefore find themselves isolated in physical and mental danger. They are not recognized as a minority that requires protection during this humanitarian crisis. The goal of this trip is to create a report that will make the international community aware of the fate of the deaf in Haiti. It is also aimed to inform deaf people all over the world of the living conditions of their Haitian counterparts, since this topic is rarely dealt with in the media. The deaf community is very tight-knit, and many were worried about the fate of the deaf in Haiti. So it was very important for them to take action and help them. The Haitians in general are very religious. They gather for prayers every Sunday. Because the church is the primary meeting place of the community, we decided it would be the best venue to meet and communicate with the deaf population. Our main objective following this mission is in fact to establish a shelter just for the deaf community. The deaf are currently spread out among several humanitarian camps, and they are more vulnerable and isolated. Bringing them together would make it possible to meet their specific needs in a more effective way. It would allow us to ascertain how many of them there are and determine who could participate in the reconstruction programs in their country. Bringing them together also helps facilitate their access to international aid. They should benefit from this aid in the same way that others do. I'm thinking in particular of the UN's Cash for Work program, which would allow them to take part in this reconstruction. We established a list of the deaf people in need. Around 400 people were listed and contacted by the leaders of the deaf community in Haiti. We met with the Haitian authorities, for example, the mayor of Delmas, Gaël Jean, and the Secretary of State for the Integration of the Disabled, Michel Péon, in order to make them aware of our plans. The mayor of Delmas suggested sites for our camp, but none were suitable. After we returned home, we received some good news. In response to our request, the Haitian authorities have apparently found a site suitable for setting up this camp. This is a long-term project that will take some time, since it's the first time that this type of initiative has been taken for the deaf. I think that they can only integrate into Haitian society through work, by showing the hearing that they can be useful, resourceful, and intelligent despite their disability. By putting them together with hearing workers, the deaf are able to highlight their professional skills to the hearing. If they were isolated in the camps, then they would be excluded from the job market. The Delmas local authority already forces employers to hire a quota of deaf people. They employ a dozen deaf people and are very happy with the situation.
Te geve tata ta pou mi, est-ce t'a chanté, est-ce t'a dansé, est-ce t'a crié, si yo brale, brale, si yo brale, non, nous te geve tata ta pou mi, est-ce t'a chanté, est-ce t'a dansé, est-ce t'a crié, si yo brale, brale.